Starting a business is really exciting, but the hardest part comes after the actual launch, when the motivation fades and the hard work actually kicks in. Welcome back to part 2 of Amanda's journey into building her very own color analysis business. Now, in last week's episode, we saw how she launched her studio while also juggling a 9-to-5 job. But today we're getting into the hard and uncomfortable side of entrepreneurship, which is what happens after you set up shop. Because whether a business thrives or falls often comes down to how you can handle the challenges that come along the way. So Amanda, we would love to hear what challenges you faced along the way and how you overcame those challenges. Please let us know.
Hi Ellie, hi everyone again. So, getting my color analysis business off the ground was rewarding and beautiful, but at the same time, it was very tough. One of the first challenges that I faced after launching my studio, and something many business women actually struggle with, was overthinking how to promote it early on. When it comes to business decisions, every single one feels huge. At first, I thought I needed a perfectly polished marketing strategy before I could even tell people what I was doing. I compared myself to established businesses and assumed mine had to look just as professional from day one. Well, here's a business tip. Don't fall into this trap. When you see successful companies, remember that they didn't look perfect when they first started. Every business grows in stages, and trying to get it all right in one go only slows you down. That's why I focus on the marketing that I was actually able to do, like organic traffic. I started sharing posts on Instagram and offered free or discounted sessions to build testimonials and social proof. In the early stages of starting a business, you are often giving more than you are getting, and that's completely okay. It doesn't mean you're failing, it means you are building momentum. You just need to get to a point where people start talking about your services and sharing their experiences. Then, growth becomes easier. This actually ties in with the second challenge I want to talk about now. Thinking paid ads don't matter for my business. When I first started out, I thought ads were just for big companies with big budgets, so I barely used any. Then I realized I could start small, test with a little money, and slowly build confidence and skills as I promoted my business. Plus, paid ads are not just for Instagram or Facebook. Google ads and website ads are just as important because people are actively searching for services online. We actually released a video about Google ads which you can check out right here. The lesson here is to treat paid advertising as a capability you develop, not a desperate trick to get clients. Learn the basics, watch tutorials like our Meta Ads video, and experiment at your own pace. And just like that, paid advertising will become part of your overall marketing strategy. Now, as your business starts to grow, one of the biggest challenges is not a tricky client or a complicated project. It is realizing you cannot do it all. And knowing your limits and delegating tasks will become super important so your motivation doesn't fade. As a solo business owner, I had this mindset that I had to do everything myself, booking appointments, replying to messages, and preparing reports. But as soon as I started getting more clients, I realized I couldn't keep it up. I was spending so much time replying to messages and doing admin that I had no energy left to focus on growing the business. So, delegating was key. I had to identify the tasks that drained me the most, the ones that didn't need my unique skills, and find ways to hand them over. Whether that meant hiring someone part-time for customer support or maybe outsourcing design tasks. Even something as simple as building my website with Hostinger Website Builder made a huge difference. Clients could check prices and services there, which brought down the number of questions I was getting in my DMs. So, I encourage you to pay attention to your limits early on. If something is consistently draining your energy, don't ignore it and make a plan for it. Knowing when to ask for help is one of the most powerful things you can do as an entrepreneur. On a personal level, I face challenges too. The hardest part was understanding the sacrifices that come with starting a business, especially for businesswomen. When you start a company or a project, it's not just about the work. It's about the time and energy you're willing to put into it, and that usually means giving up a lot of free time. For me, this meant no more Netflix and working through most weekends for almost a year. I had to come to terms with the fact that the early phase of building a business can feel slow and demanding at the same time. You're putting in long hours without always seeing immediate results, and that can be frustrating. With time, those sacrifices paid off, but it was the initial mind shift that threw me off. This is kind of what Alex Hormozy talks about, which is the price of change is the life you have to give up to get the life you want. So ask yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice for this thing that I want to build? And what am I letting go of first? Accepting early sacrifices is not easy, but it is what allows you to invest fully in the growth and success of your business. And finally, the last challenge I want to address is how hard it is to stay relevant and adapt to change in industries that are constantly innovating. When it comes to color analysis, trends evolve quickly. Marketing methods change, and new technologies like AI are transforming how businesses operate. And honestly, this is pretty much everywhere, so I'm sure you will relate to this. Figuring out how to evolve without losing your identity or confusing your clients is hard. For me, that meant thinking strategically about personal branding and how to stand out in a crowded market. I realized that what sets me apart isn't just the service I provide, but who I am and the perspective that I bring. So I'd recommend that you build a personal platform like a portfolio or a business website that becomes the base for your services and tells your story. You can use a website builder like Hostinger Website Builder for this and chat with AI to create a clean, professional site in a few minutes. You can even use AI to help define your brand identity like color palette, font library, and tone of voice. You can check out our tutorial on how to make a website in the description. This will show people why this business matters to you and why it can genuinely help solve their problems. And that will help you stay competitive in a fast-moving industry. And here is a final tip I cannot help but share. To avoid unnecessary challenges, start building systems early on. And by that I mean, plan ahead and map out your customer journey even if you don't have any clients yet. When I first started out, I documented everything from client lists to payments and reports, all in a single spreadsheet. That small effort at the time now gives me data from over 1,000 clients that I can use for future upselling, insights, and planning. You don't need anything fancy to get started. A simple Excel document is enough for you. But you can also use AI tools like Gemini or ChatGPT to design workflows and client onboarding processes, and platforms like Hostinger Horizons to build web apps like maybe an expense tracker or content scheduler. By putting systems in place early, you will avoid chaos later and you will free yourself to focus on growth. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Ellie.
Wow, Amanda, honestly, thank you so much for being so honest about the reality of starting a business. I mean, I sure learned a lot, and if you guys are building something of your own, I really hope and I really do think that this video and Amanda's journey can help you figure it out. Now, to hear more from Amanda, head to the Hostinger Indonesia channel and also make sure to subscribe to Hostinger Academy so you don't miss part 3 of Amanda's journey, which is going to be coming out next week. In that episode, she will share her biggest lessons from entrepreneurship and also give us some very valuable business tips. But for now, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.